There we go. All right, we are live. Hello, and welcome to Clubhouse Conversations, the June 2nd edition, where we're going to be talking about the non audio creators that are involved in Clubhouse and the creator economy, because Clubhouse calls itself a creator first platform. Personally, I believe it should be listener first, since it's an audio platform and it needs an audience of listeners to survive. But it also, when you see this, what they did here, this is a chart of the inaugural class of Creator First. This is actually the sophomore class. This is not the freshman class, so understand that. I guess it would go the other way around since the sophomore's a year older. So these are all the creators that they chose to basically carry Clubhouse on their shoulders for the content for the next 3 months is what they're funding all of these people for. They all got $1,000 for their pilots, and then they had the winners that you see here. There was actually about 400 of them that were involved in everything altogether, but these were the ones that actually got $5,000 a month for their shows. Their shows is what we're calling them. And all of these people pretty much, well, I mean, all of them technically, because the creator first thing was a whole thing itself, but they all use graphic designers at a bare minimum, and a writer, me. So in order to identify themselves, how this whole thing was announced in the first place, it was done pretty poorly, to be honest with you. But what they did was they announced at a town hall that they were going to, at some point that Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day it was, Tuesday, that they were going to announce who they were, and then they had everyone come in there, and then they just had everyone PTR, and then all the people that were selected for Creator First had this special ring frame around their profile pic. It's funny because everything's circular and within Clubhouse or an octagon, something like that, and they're all square pictures here, which is, I mean, they just don't have any kind of real branding going on here, any kind of cohesion amongst all of their channels of branding here. And it's because they don't respect, I mean, they don't have a graphic designer at Clubhouse either. It's funny, when you look at the stuff that Clubhouse uses for their own icon, they took this hand wave thing from Vine, which is funny because Vine is a defunct social platform that people like Jake Paul and his brother got famous off of. And I mean, now it's gone. Now when you go there, what you get is this archived thing that has that still there. It's funny that they stole that clip art from Vine of all places, because Vine is a very fitting comparison to what Clubhouse is going to end up as. And you can even tell because they didn't hire anybody to do their app icon. They instead created this game where every month, I think, is what they're doing. They don't have this documented anywhere, but they changed the app icon to a different person, and it has to be black and white photos. So you see all the thirsty people that want to be the app icon. They always change their own app icon to the black and white photo so that they could try to be selected. And there was a huge thing where they fumbled that when they were trying to do the switch over from Axel Mansour to Aja Monet. They announced it, and then it never happened, and then they never said anything. And then 2 months later, they just out of nowhere picked Drew Katakau, I believe is her name, who is the person doing it now, who's just like the Asian woman who's looking up like that. They changed it to her without announcing it, without even telling anybody it was coming. It just, it was in the middle of a whole bunch of anti-AAPI, Asian Pacific Islander, all that. The hate that was going on, all these hate rallies, and everyone was trying to figure all this stuff out. And then the black community, we had everything, they were getting completely appropriated on every end, the shoot your shot and everything else. And this mistake that Clubhouse made caused a lot of rifts where everyone was kind of like stuck in these camps, like what happened, and they refused to tell anybody. They made it like it was the community's fault, that the community did not understand that Clubhouse broke their own rules for a Clubhouse game. I mean, this all could have been avoided if they just stopped harvesting things like this from Vine, and they just stopped using digital blackface and turning this into an Aunt Jemima bottle and writing their backs. I mean, think about this. Clubhouse used Bomani X and Axel Mansour as the face of their app in order to quadruple from a $1 million company to or $1 billion company, whatever they were worth at the time. I don't know. I might have been even more than that, 40 times what they did in the time that they had those two. But now they're a $4 billion company. It was off the back of those two people's faces. And both of those men are going on their Twitter from March, and they both say that being the app icon did not open up any opportunities. It did not. They're still broke. They're still struggling. They are no longer in the recommended list. They're now left to. I mean, they can walk away. It doesn't matter because Clubhouse got what they needed from them, and that's just exploitation. That's not creator first at all. And those are the audio creators. I mean, we're still diving into the. I mean, they're both audio creators. They're both musicians, and Aja was a poet, and she was in The Lion King. And Drew is a visual artist. Funny enough, is that they are using a visual artist's face to avoid hiring a visual artist, and so then you go into the Google search for Clubhouse. You could tell because of this, because of how they're playing this game, you know who was the app icon in December and January and February and March because of this. And you could see where the peak of Clubhouse was just by looking through the news, just putting Clubhouse in the images and seeing like where all the news comes from. Like it's mostly Bomani. It's a little bit of Axel. And then like some people are finally getting Drew in there finally. But I mean, most of this stuff that's already been uploaded by the professional, photographers and graphic designers and all the image makers that do professional images, those creators who don't get respected by Clubhouse, they already put all this stuff onto, Shutterstock and all of the places where they can sell images, basically. And this is where, or the Reuters and the Associated Press, I can't remember the Getty Images, and so they've already sold all their artwork and done all the work. I mean, this isn't easy to make all of this stuff. Like taking a picture and making an app look like something is not easy. Look at all the different ways that they had to do it, and I mean, this is a lot of work. This page, these search results represent, I mean, thousands of dollars worth of work that was just done for free. I mean, even each one of these pictures of each one of these people is something that Clubhouse they underestimate how the photo shoots and everything that it took for this. This is time to make this visual art. And I mean, you see where they just basically take people's, I mean, this is all just stolen clip art. This is worse than when, Jake Paul or Logan Paul, whichever one of them, did the Like a God church thing, and he took a bunch of clip art and didn't realize that clip art is also made by somebody. Like it doesn't just magically appear out of nowhere. Like this is all the fonts were designed by somebody. Everything that you see has been designed by a graphic artist. Even the Clubhouse font, all of it is done by a graphic artist, and none of these people respect that. And so then you end up with these. I mean. Like NNPR was a big one where they used this woman to continuously put these NNPR visors on people because everybody in here was told, find ways to promote this virally, and they all got these graphic designers to hand out these, like to redo people's photos with like the Disney ears or the travel hats and all those kind of things so that they could brand themselves. But branding, I mean, just coming up with that icon is a whole thing that people get paid for and should get paid for, and then sitting there and applying it. I mean, that is free promotional work these people were getting, and for nothing. I mean, nobody ever even. I had NNPR. I went off because like the people were all named in the top paragraph, and I got messages in the DMs about how I need to give them like better billing or something. Like you got named and you got linked to your profile in the top paragraph, the very first thing, and you're still complaining. Well, meanwhile, if you scroll down to the bottom, you have the picture of the woman who did all the work of getting everybody, including me, the NNPR visor that you see on my profile pic, and she didn't even get mentioned. She didn't get paid. She didn't get anything. She got nothing. None of them gave her anything. That is just sad and pathetic. That is exploitation. All of this boils down to they're exploiting anybody who is not an audio creator. They're 100% exploiting the audio creators too, but below that, people who are being treated worse than that are the people who are not audio creators who still do all of the work behind everything that just doesn't get appreciated. Yes, it's great when you have these PTRs going on, but somebody had to create that. Somebody had to make that, design that, and execute on that, and that is not being respected. And I mean, the same thing happened. I was not the only person who was writing a newsletter. There's at least like 5 people that I know of that were writing newsletters in different ways. And I mean, you just can't do it. I've seen people waste millions of dollars and try to withstand staff of 20 people and all sorts of freelance writers and contributors and things, and they're still not able to cover the amount of stuff, and they can't stay in business. They can't get everything done that needs to be done because there's a lot of work behind a blog. Trust me, there is a lot that goes into publishing this, getting the email list, getting everything together, all the research that I did. The reason I'm able to do these live is because I spent 2 straight weeks doing nothing but binging these shows, and before that I had over 3 months of binging nothing but Clubhouse. So I was fully immersed and knew what I was doing. Hold on, I need some tea. You guys are getting some tea. I get some too. So yeah, this is just the visual art part of this that I'm talking about too. We're not even going into all the other stuff. So there are a lot of third-party apps that do a lot of different things that run off of Clubhouse, and these are all from. I've met a few of them. I met the two-man team. It was a Russian team behind ClubHub, clubhub.site, which is the analytics program, because Clubhouse does not provide any analytics, so nobody takes them seriously in business, because analytics are everything on every platform, no matter who you are, what you are, whether it's a video game, an app, a website, no matter what business you are in, analytics are everything. Even if you're just running an offline business, you still need like how many customers come in, how much do they make kind of stuff if you want to succeed. And they don't have any of that. So a two-man team from Russia is doing that. They are ripping everybody off. They are taking way more information. They're liars. I met with them with Guy from the Restaurant Marketing Club. We met them in a private room. Everything that they had to say was just shady. They're trying to charge people $50 a month, and the only person who has a pro account on there is Min that I've seen, which is sad that man is that thirsty that he's been paying $50 a month. That is sad. I pay less than that for Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, full Amazon Prime, everything. I mean, my phone bill, all of that combined is less than $300 a month. All of that combined, or $50 a month. I mean, the phone bill is not, but it is. I'm high. I'm always high, but yeah, it was a $5 a month service, and they were trying to charge like more than you would pay for Photoshop, more than you would pay for any Microsoft or Google services or Adobe services, and they're trying to convince you this two-man team who did the same thing that the same two-man team is not the same two-man team, but the same makeup of two men is doing the same thing with Clubhouse itself. It's Rohan and Paul who just had something that they did one time, and then now they're trying to charge a bunch of people a bunch of money to use it, and it's ridiculous. And then they hired one guy for the Android as an official Android developer. They have maybe one person for iPhone. And then they hired a bunch of people to finally try to fill in all the rest of it, which is just ridiculous. And they didn't bother to pay. There's a two-man team that we met too from France, I believe, somewhere in Europe. That do clubdeck.io. That is the desktop version of Clubhouse that works for both Mac and PC, which is, this two-man team did a way better job, by the way. It is better than Clubhouse, what they did. Guy and I also interviewed them and talked to them with a group of people in a public chat, actually, and we invited Clubhouse to come in there. Adrian and I can't remember the guy's name, but we invited them, the developers, to go in there. I would highly recommend Club Deck. It has a built-in sound effects, like a soundboard, so you can put music and sound effects, all these other things. It has very easy things to do with podcasting to connect to other apps so that you can get your professional mic and everything put in there. You can record everything really easily. It's a way easier schedule to go through. It doesn't crash as much as the Clubhouse schedule. Clubhouse scheduling is just ridiculous. That calendar is the most awfully programmed thing. All this stuff could have been fixed. All they had to do was just support these developers. They could have given them $5,000 a month. They could have thrown in a developer and a graphic designer in this list and taken out like 3 of the 4 white people that they picked for one show that didn't need to be there, and that would have been perfect. That would have been great. They could have covered the development and the design of everything around there, and really truly started working their way towards actually doing something with Clubhouse. But again, they don't have any of this stuff built in, so they're never going to get there. And It's on every end. I, as a writer, I mean, none of the newsletters, none of us got respected. None of the artists got respected. None of the developers get respected. This is just what Clubhouse is. They say that they're creator first, but what they mean is creator, as in Paul Davison and Rohan Seth. Because I mean, this picture right here is the most respected of all of the people on Clubhouse. They are all audio creators. There's 25 people here that represent like a dozen shows, because a lot of them are in cliques and figured out ways to get in back channels and group chats and game the system so they can get into the inner circle. And I mean, that's basically one of many reasons why Clubhouse is not doing well. I mean, they could have easily put in the dark mode that everybody keeps asking them for. They could have easily fixed all of the problems with that podcasters have, that they could have picked an easy one button, like push a button and you get a frame for your picture. They're making everybody else do all of this, and they don't respect any of the people that do it. They barely give like a minimal amount, like respect these audio creators here in Creator First. They're respected like just above how much a person who hates dogs will respect a dog. Like someone who really hates dogs, like keeps them chained up and abuses them and keeps them in the backyard, won't let them inside. You know, like the terrible people that do that with dogs. Like that's how they're treated. I mean, they're getting like a bowl of food. Like this is like a human centipede, basically, of 25 people who are all ass to mouth sewn together in these cliques, and they're doing the same thing. So they think that they're doing something new by like banding together and helping each other out. But that's what the audio collective was. That's what the all of the stuff was last year that everybody was doing in September, trying to get through everything. And I've seen it. We've all seen it. We've all seen how this story ends. None of those other people are on there. This is the new class that thinks they're going to try to do the same thing, and they're going to get just as little support. They couldn't get tweets because nobody. I mean, there's two people that do social media, and neither one of them can even tweet. The levels of just disrespect for every type of creator, for everything that goes on in the background. These people are acting like only the actor is responsible for a Hollywood blockbuster. Like they are going to just put everything on what, like Robert Downey Jr. for the Avengers, and that's it, like as if he was the only person involved in that, and like nobody else. There was no set designers, there were no like digital graphics people, there weren't people like holding on to these strings and harnesses in front of green screens and people who set that stuff up. There was nobody who set up a catering table. There was nobody who was going around with a clipboard to make sure everyone's doing everything right. Nobody was holding microphones, nobody was holding cameras, nobody was directing, nobody was writing, nobody was rewriting, nobody was producing, nobody was doing any of this, because he just saw this guy standing there in the movie and he just assumed that that's the only person involved in it. That's ridiculous, man. That is somebody who has never actually seen what the real creator economy is, just faking the funk and just leading all these sheep down his road of like, I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. We all know you don't, because that is why you literally think that like the Avengers was just the people that were on screen, and you don't, not even all the people on screen, just the main cast on the poster. You don't even know how the poster got there, much less the logo for the movie. You don't know what that entire list. Do you know how many songs? There are like 5 songs that play in the back of these credits. Marvel, as I will use them as the example, they started the whole idea of just putting an extra scene at the back of that to make sure that people actually read these closing credits and understand how much was involved, how much planning, how much it took just to get the set locations set up and to get everyone travel arrangements to go there, all the assistants that were helping out with all the named people. Like everybody had their own assistant, so just double whatever you think that the number is of people who are involved. It is so long that they're like scrolling through as fast as they can and like running songs, and it is still longer than this frickin' video is about it, because that is how many people are involved, and that doesn't even count all the marketing people on the other end, the people that are making all the toys and the merch and the video games, all that stuff about it, in order to keep that whole, because that's what the movie's there for, is to sell the merch. They don't even have merch. They're not even trying to get digital stuff created. How are they ever going to get around to merch? And merch is obvious. Watch YouTube. Watch any YouTuber talking about how they monetize their business. They'll tell you they get some of it, the most minimal amount of it, from the revenue, from ad revenue and all that, because, I mean, that's where Clubhouse should be getting their money, is just putting an audio ad, a 10-second audio ad in front of every room. fixes everything. They can make so much money. Put one stale little ad at the front for whatever company, so much money they can make. But instead, they want to ride and exploit all of these audio creators only and just completely enslave everybody else. And this is pathetic. This company is going down like the Hindenburg and Titanic and all of that. And I feel so bad for all these people. I have been trying my hardest to get them through out of here, out of this flock of idiots that are just lemmings. I mean, not idiots, but people that are just being misled like lemmings off of a cliff. And it's sad. It's sad to see all of these people being exploited. And no one's doing anything about it. Everyone just thinks I'm funny. And that's funny to me because you had to watch an ad to get in here. And this is going to be here well after I die. So I'm making money. I respect the system. I respect creators. I am a creator. I'm a non-audio creator, even though I'm making audio and video right now. I'm not doing a great job at it because I don't have all those people in the back end to do all the editing and the production and all this other stuff that they need to do because I'm a one-man team. And this is the quality that you get, a little bit degraded quality because I don't have a team of people to put makeup on me and dress me up and like write out everything for me and hold up cue cards and do all this other shit. I just don't. And I mean, I outworked everybody and this entire list combined, plus the other 400 people you don't see on this list. I outworked all of them combined. I am the only human being on Clubhouse out of the 10 million possible users who saw and including all the staff, all the investors who saw every single one of these shows, who sat in there in real time and engaged with them and promoted them on multiple channels. There's no way Clubhouse is going to survive. I'm a better company than Clubhouse. Me by myself, I am a better business than this $4 billion business. And each one of these creators represents $15,000, $16,000 is what each one of these creators represents. And that is such a tiny amount to spend on all of this. They wasted all their money. I can't believe that they think this is what's going to discoverability is what's going to fix your company, Paul. Listening to the mods, the room creators that you say that you're listening to, actually listening to them, that's going to fix it. Maybe knowing more about the business that you're trying to lead these people through, these 25 through, than they do. I don't know. Pick something. Pick anything. Get a designer. Get a newsletter. Get all sorts of things. You have a tenth of what you need for this company to survive. It's just not going to. It's dead in the water. It already hit the iceberg, and it's obvious that it's sinking because you changed everything from rooms and hallways, your own little idea, into shows because I convinced you to through my newsletter because you're an idiot and you're letting the community lead you. You're the leader. You're the one who's supposed to provide all the stuff. You have to have the infrastructure, the network, the everything, the back-end databases, the discoverability, the AI algorithms, the data. You have to provide the statistics to your creators so that they can get the deals that they need. You can't just force them all to figure it out and just like ride their backs because they're going to turn on you. They're all going to get exhausted and they're going to turn on you. And guess what? I'm still going to be here and I'm still going to be all over the internet, all over it. You can find me in text. You can find me in audio. You can find me in video, pictures, all of it, everywhere. And then they're going to come to me. They already have. A lot of them have. A lot of them won't ever because they're afraid of me, but it is what it is. If they want to stay in the cult, they're welcome to drown. But all those that are willing to get off of there, get the life raft, I've got it for them. I'm going to make sure that they get everything that they need because, man. But yeah, if you are not an audio creator, you are not getting any respect on Clubhouse. If you're an audio creator, I mean, you might be able to get some people to fake it for you because they all want to try to up their own numbers. But other than that, good luck, man, because Clubhouse is creator last, and it should have been listener first. This whole creator first thing is a joke. And yeah. Have a good day, all you graphic designers and developers and everybody else who has been actually carrying this, the unsung heroes who have been carrying this company on their back. I appreciate you and I applaud you, and I'm sorry that nobody ever hires you or pays you and just expects you to do everything for them. I hope that changes one day. Until then, this is Thought for Your Penny. I'm sorry. That's my other brand. This is Clubhouse Conversations. And this is Brian Penny at Clubhouse Conversations. You can subscribe below, and yeah.